I'd now like to welcome Louise Davidson back for some closing remarks.
Thanks, Ellie. Well, I won't keep you for long because I think it's been a long day and it's fantastic to see so many people still here at this time of the day. I'm just going to reflect quickly on some of the sessions that we've had today, starting with Ian's opening address, and I think the thing that really stood out to me from that speech was the calling out of ESG as a contributing factor in the success of profit-to-member funds. I hadn't thought about it like that before, but I think it is clear that that has been a contributing factor. We moved on to Sharon Burrow and Sharon's discussion about the role of inequality in driving anger around the world and the imperative of action on climate change, which also includes workers in its outcomes. And she reminded us that in respect to climate change, the future is now. Following on from that and a good transition, we heard from the regulators and from Rosemary Kelly about climate change. And I thought that the regulators made much stronger statements about climate risk than I had heard them make in the past. And in particular, John Price on the inclusion of climate disclosure moving into financial statements following recently released AASB standards, and Jeff Summerhaze's suggestion that the instability of the climate introduces a new paradigm for investors. And I note that there seems to be a pretty clear consensus emerging around the ongoing role of the TCFD. Our annual directors panel canvassed a range of issues related to the Royal Commission. I thought there was a reasonable level of support expressed for annual director elections, and the directors unanimously expressed confidence that the Royal Commission will lead to real and enduring changes to corporate governance. And whilst I hope that will be the case, I'm not sure that I share their confidence that it will just happen by osmosis. Ali then had an energetic discussion with Graham Samuel, who reiterated the need for better directors and strongly endorsed the notion that diversity of thought, experience and culture and the ability to challenge are crucial to successful boards. Then we had given the topic was remuneration, it was a lively and detailed discussion on REM with the usual number of acronyms, STIs, LTIs, etc., and a lot of discussion of balanced scorecards. And eventually, prompted by a question from Lou Caparelli, we got to the elephant in the room, that one being quantum, but I don't think we really solved that one. That's for another day. Then to our politicians session, I suppose predictably, being just over a week out from a federal election, both presentations in their own way contained elements of campaigning, but Ali managed to move things onto a more spontaneous discussion in the Q&A part of those presentations. And finally, to our CIO panel, there was a refreshing level of debate on that panel. John Pearce made the salient point that if you wouldn't put your parents' money in something, then you shouldn't invest in it. Mark Delaney raised the issue about the risk that's inherent in the evolving societal consensus about social licence and social contract and new expectations of business. And Sonia Sawtell-Rickson spoke of the key role that culture plays within her investment team. Someone can be a fantastic investor, but if they are not culturally aligned, they will be shown the door. There was also an acknowledgement of the relative growth of international holdings for our members relative to their Australian holdings, which I should note underscores the rationale for the new partnership that we've developed with Hermes EOS. So thank you to all of our speakers and moderators who took part in today's conference and to help to make it such a success. All of our presenters will be thanked for their participation with a donation made on their behalf to the Cure Brain Cancer Foundation, which is the foundation, the charity that ACSI donates to in memory of one of our founders, Phil Spathis. A couple of acknowledgements and thank yous. Firstly, our sponsors. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate your support, and in particular, thank you to our Platinum event partner, Ausbil Investment Management. I also wanted to thank Ali Moore for joining us once again at the ACSI conference. Ali, you've done a fantastic job today. Your presentation today and your preparation in the lead up to the conference always is inspiring to me, and you do an incredibly professional job. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the ACSI team and our board and member council for their work throughout the year and their support in the lead up to the conference and today. And I need to single out the efforts of a couple of ACSI staff who've worked incredibly hard to bring this event to fruition, Kim Eden and Jane Rennie. Thank you. And finally, a thank you to all of you for your participation and for your active involvement and debate throughout the day. I'd like to invite you to join us in Sophie's Lounge for some drinks. Thanks very much.